Hello, this is Phil Chenevert, and this is How Do You Record and Edit the Sequel. I learned so much from when I posted a little video a year ago from other people responding to it and offering me suggestions. And I have basically changed a lot of what I do, and I believe learned a lot. I thought I would do it again, and I'm still asking for suggestions. And I'm also exposing myself to public view, ridicule, and everything else, but what the heck, it's for a good cause. I just finished a few minutes ago recording this chapter 4 of a book I'm recording, and the first thing I do is do noise reduction. I find a flat piece. You may notice that I'm zooming in and out with my keyboard commands. I'll talk more about that. I always analyze my noise to see how much to... Okay, this is exactly 58 decibels. If I want to bring it down to 72, which I like to aim at, that means I'll reduce it by about 13 or 14. Select the whole track and apply noise reduction. I'll do 14. I, of course, try to do the least amount of noise reduction possible so that it doesn't give me a bad effect. I have not had any bad effects from noise reduction in, I guess, for at least several hundred sections recorded now by using this kind of technique. Okay, just to check it out, I'll analyze it again, plot my spectrum. Yeah, I'm down to pretty good, very good. So, go back to the beginning. The next thing I do almost always is to truncate silences. I come from the south and I talk kind of slow, so I use truncate silence. I found a happy medium to be 220 minimum and 2000 maximum. Truncating silence saves me a lot of time in cutting out those silences. It puts it pretty close to the way I like it. Okay, when I edit, I start at the beginning and work my way to the right. And as I leave it, should be pretty well ready to go. I'm going to work at my normal speed and use the shortcuts that I built in. I'll try to describe some of what I do. Okay, I highlight. I'm going to delete chapter. Now I have a little thing built into I use auto hotkeys, which finds 0 points, cuts out what I've highlighted, and starts running immediately, so I don't have to waste any effort or time. Putting my headphones on now. Chapter 4 of Alice's Adventures Underground by Lewis Carroll. Hear that beep? I can zoom in. Yeah, there it is. I have auto hotkey to reduce those spots. This Librivox recording is in the public domain. Chapter 4, The Queen's Croquet. The Queen. I don't like that queen here. The Queen's Croquet Ground, the Mock Turtle Story, the Lobster Quadrille, Who Stole the Tarts? A large rope. I heard a beep there. Highlight. I'm applying a large rose bush stood near the... Well, let's stop that. I'm applying a little bit of... what is it? De-amplify into my silences here, because I have a lot of my mouth pops and clicks and everything else, and everything I've tried, this is the easiest way to do it. I just de-amplify that a little bit, which kind of gets rid of them without having to take them out individually. A large rose bush stood, and I apologize for zooming in and out. I do this automatically now without thinking. I like to keep my cursor somewhere in the middle here, and when you zoom in or out, it puts it back somewhere around the middle so I can watch it. Oops. I know this is probably driving you crazy. A large rose bush stood near the entrance of the garden. The roses of the garden. I don't like that g. I'm going to delete that. Garden. Of the garden. The roses on it were white, but there were 3 gardeners at it, busily painting them red. This Alice thought a very curious thing, and she went near to watch them, and just as she came up, she heard one of them say, "Look out." Oh, that's just a breath. Look out, Five. Don't go splashing paint over me like that. I couldn't help it, said Five in a sulky tone. Seven jogged my elbow. This is Alice's Adventures Underground. Lifted up his head and said, That's right, Five. Always lay the blame on others. Okay, there's a pop and a click there. I can hear it very clearly. Lay the blame on others. Can't hear it now. You'd better not talk, said Five. And what I'm doing again, once again, is a selection that I put a light anti-amplify on there, and since it's in this, but I'll still leave ambient noise in. You'd better not talk, said Five. I heard the Queen say only yesterday she thought of having you beheaded. What for? Said the one who had spoken first. Lots of clicks and pops from my mouth up in here. Spoken first. That's a little bit. The silence is too long. That the one who had spoken cut first. Out a piece. That's not. And once again, what I use is my auto hotkeys, which cuts out sections for me, and does, and then starts. That's not your business too. Business. Hear that? I don't know where that comes from. Business too? Says C. Your business too? Said Seven. That's a little better. Yes, it is his business, said Five. And I'll tell him it was for bringing in tulip roots to the cook instead of potatoes. Seven flung down his brush and had just begun. Well. There's some pops and clicks in here. It had just begun. Don't be too long. Well, of all the notice I don't have to go and zoom or anything like that. I'm just using my keys to do it. I'm where I'm at, 1.2. Let's see if I can find some things that took off their hats and bowed around, and all of them took off their hats and bowed low. Ooh do. Wow, what weird noises come out of my mouth. Oh. Low. Would you please tell me? Hats and bowed low. I just cut a section out. Would you please tell me, said Alice timidly, why are you painting those roads? Now, if I wanted to take out an individual little click, I just use my little pinky key, my A key, zoom in, and take it out. Why are you painting the... But a lot of times I just like to de-amplify them a little bit. Why are you painting those roses? Two things that saved me so much time. Five and Seven looked at two, but said nothing. Okay, I'm going to stop here. There was a sound
this
of
is
many
what I do if I have
footsteps,
to
and
replace
Alice
something.
looked round, eager to see the Queen.
Let's see.
And Alice looked round, eager to see the Queen. Now, if I'm not happy with the way I said something, or I use a different word or the wrong word, because I'm usually following along in the text here, I record it. Let's see. And Alice looked round, eager to see the Queen. I record a new track. And Alice looked round, eager to see the Queen. Eager to see the Queen. All right. All of those are stupid, but I would take the one I want here, highlight it, copy it, and stick it in here. Let's see, I'd put it right here. Paste. Go down here and delete my track. I have my X button. I can delete a track. Whichever one my cursor's in, it just pops it. I don't have to look for delete up here at all. And then I would... And Alice looked round, eager to see the Queen. And Alice looked round, eager to see the Queen. Well, I don't think that's right. But then I would go through and delete the one I don't want. And Alice looked round. Eager to... In this case, I would take out this. Do my little auto hotkey. See the Queen. And Alice looked to see the Queen. And Alice looked round, eager to see the Queen. And Alice looked round, eager to see the Queen. Alice. Let's see. And Alice. And Alice. I'll find a spot here. Let's write that and then delete it. Many footsteps, and Alice looked round, eager to see the Queen. I have a little too much emphasis on the Queen. Zoom in and delete it. Queen. And that's it, folks. Came 10 soldiers. I know there's lots more. The main things that I use to speed me up now is my keys, which are edit, preferences, and I set my keyboard preferences here to the ones that I want. You take off the ones you want, put the ones you want on there. And once you learn them, like I have learned mine, it makes it easy. And also auto hotkeys, which programs a certain set of keys on your keyboard to do a whole series of functions. The ones I use most are to amplify by 2, de-amplify by 3 and 5, and de-amplify by 8, and to delete a section, find 0 crossings, and start back immediately after it deletes it. And there's a few others I can think of, but mainly those. Okay, that's it. This is basically how I edit, and I hope that people will respond and say, yeah, Phil, that sounds good, but what you're doing is this, blah, blah, blah. If there's interest, I will show more about how to do auto hotkeys. I learned that as a result of my first video, and it has saved me umpteen hours of editing time. Thank you. This is Phil Chenevert, and that's all, folks.